name's Caroline Madden and I'm from Ireland. I'm currently living in Dublin and teaching at the National College of Art and Design. I started in glass in '82 and I fell in love with glass because it was the most scientific and there was the least amount of information on it. So it was kind of a self-evolving material and you had to define it yourself. But I've worked with a lot of other materials like metal and woods. It's not specifically glass, it depends on the idea and what I'm trying to convey and then which material best suits that. Well, the inspiration for this work started in a residency. The director at Sculpture in the Parklands, Lochborough, Kevin O'Dwyer, had invited me for a 2-week residency there. And he was turning this old peat boglands into a sculpture park and farmland. So he asked me if I'd create a work in response to that area. So I created a work, but in the 2 weeks of being there, I was exploring themes of regeneration, sovereignty, and transformation. And specifically transformation, there was a lot of swans. The landscape had originally been just bog and heather, now it was all grasslands and biofuels, and where Kevin was particularly working with sculptures, so that was actually bringing the whole idea of bringing art into the public realm where people go for walks and bike rides. So I actually focused on this idea of the swan, because it's a very regal animal, and it's when you think about a swan, you think about purity. It's implicit in thinking about swans. But it's also the way the animal itself acted in the environment. It was really comfortable within its own skin and being one with its environment. As you can see, the forms are really quite literal of swans, but then they're abstracted again, working with the lines. So actually taking a pencil for a walk and just enjoying the movement in them. So the long necks on them and the separation of the head and the body is to articulate that. But I'm working specifically with clear glass because I want to exploit the qualities of transparency and translucency and the refractive nature of glass, which also adds that mystical quality and then also overlays then the extra meaning of the swan and that transformation. Another part of it is just the sheer joy of actually being a craftsperson and working with my hands. So to actually enjoy the process of making glass, but also to exploit something that can only be handmade, it actually cannot be made by machine. And so you also get the luxury of actually having a conversation with the material and changing it up. It's not like the design is actually produced and then handed off to someone. It's actually you're making it and you're talking with the material as you're going through the material. I think then you become more in tune with the material and you understand the nuances of the material better. And that's what's been great about coming back here, is because the team are so exceptionally skilled. You can't get that so much in Europe. So that's really been really good to actually work through the ideas and how to develop the ideas.